When most people think about posture, they think about somebody saying, stand up straight. But posture is far more than that. Posture tells a story. It tells the story of how you move, how you think, what you fear, what you repeat, and even how you feel about yourself. And what most people don't realize is that what we commonly call bad posture, what that is often not caused by age at all. In fact, it's never caused by age. It's caused by adaptation. Tiny adaptations repeated day after day, year after year, until eventually the body begins physically reflecting the life we've been living. Today on the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast.
Welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast
with Garrett Williamson.
Health, wellness, exercise, nutrition, and a whole lot more. Got questions? Call us and leave a message at 251-278-EDGE or message us at Personal Edge Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, at Team PE on Twitter, or personaledgefitness.com.
Hello again and welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast. I'm Garrett Williamson, and as always, we are here to talk about health, fitness, longevity, and pushing back against what I call the lie of age, the belief that decline is inevitable simply because time passes. And today we're talking about something almost everybody notices, but very few people actually understand, and that's posture. Now let's talk about what most people think posture is. When most people think of posture, they think of one thing: pulling the shoulders backwards, chest out, shoulders back, stand tall. But posture is far more complicated than that, because posture is not just about position. It's about function. And the body is constantly adapting to stress, weakness. It's adapting to your fears, definitely adapting to your habits, even your emotions. Also, we adapt to our environment. And of course, repetition. What I notice first when I first look at a client's posture, one of the things I notice is what we call kyphosis, the rounded upper back posture. And very often it's paired with a forward head posture, head jutting forward, going like out beyond the neck almost, shoulders rolling inward, head dropping down. And immediately that tells a story. Remember what we've talked about when we talk about balance. Your body follows your head, and your head follows your eyes. And this is one of the most important things people don't realize. The body follows the eyes. If someone constantly looks downward, the head begins dropping forward. Then the shoulders begin rolling inward. And the spine begins adapting around that position. And over time, the posture starts feeling normal. Now, why does this happen? A lot of people, why do they start looking down? A lot of people assume it's age. A lot of people assume it's time passing on a calendar. I don't. I know the truth. Many people begin looking downward because of a fear of falling. Some people do it strictly out of reduced confidence. You can see this in young people. A lot of people do it because of lack of movement. And many times it's emotional withdrawal. And there's another huge factor that has entered our society, huge in our daily life now. And that's screens, phones, computers, laptops. We're constantly training the body into a forward position. But there's another part that most people never think about. As people lose confidence in movement, they begin lowering their center of gravity. Now, this is very subtle, but it's huge. People start bending slightly forward, crouching slightly, shortening their stride. Why? Because it makes them feel more stable. And eventually, that temporary protective posture becomes permanent. Now, if you're just joining us, this is the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast, and today we're talking about the lie of posture. If you'd like to reach out to us, contact us at personaledgefitness.com. You can reach out to me personally, Garrett, Garrett at personaledgefitness.com. Contact us on the podcast line at 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. And be on the lookout for my upcoming book, The Lie of Age, where we dive much deeper into these concepts, and I'm going to prove to you that the ridiculous concept that time passing on a calendar causes deterioration is an absolute lie. Let's get back into this now about posture, the trap that most people fall into. Here's where people get confused. They think posture is simply pull your shoulders back. So they start forcing their shoulders backward and jutting the chest out. Usually they do this using the trapezius muscles, which actually start at the base of the skull and run down to your middle back, fan out a little bit. The trapezius is not really designed to hold posture that way continuously. And some people end up overworking their upper tracts. This is a superficial muscle. It's not made for this. And this creates fatigue. It creates tension. Where those muscles are connected and pulled, it can create headaches. But it never fixes the problem. Now, there's another muscle we call it really the forgotten muscle. It's a muscle that most people have never heard of. It's called the serratus anterior. But it plays a massive role in shoulder posture altogether, and shoulder positioning. It also controls scapular control, breathing mechanics, and overall posture. When the serratus is weak, the shoulders begin losing their stable positioning. Now, the body starts to compensate. The traps overwork. The neck tightens, the shoulders round, and eventually pain starts showing up. And this is what is interesting. People often don't notice posture difficulties, pain, discomfort until the pain shows up in the lower back. That's because weak posture higher up creates compensation lower down. One of the biggest things we see is weak hamstrings become tight hamstrings, and tight hamstrings begin pulling on the hips. Then the stress transfers upward into the lower back. I explain this to clients using a fishing rod analogy. Where does the greatest stress occur when you're catching a fish in the fishing rod? It occurs at the weakest point at the top. And many times the lower back becomes that point, that weaker point. Not because lower back is the original problem, but because it is compensating for weakness elsewhere. And since posture starts pushing undue stress on the lower back, your hamstrings will exacerbate that discomfort. But posture is emotional too. This is where posture becomes really interesting. Posture is not purely physical. It's emotional. People who are shy, who are depressed, they're withdrawn, they're fearful, they're lacking confidence, often physically make themselves smaller. They literally begin closing themselves off. And once again, the body adapts to repetition. Here's the bigger truth, though. This is why I get frustrated when people say everybody gets stooped when they get older. No, everybody adapts to the way they move, the way they think, the way they live, and the things they repeatedly do. That is not the same thing as time causing deterioration. What I'm talking about is actual deliberate action. And honestly, this leads directly into something we'll talk about in a future episode. The body adapts to what you repeatedly ask it to do. Because posture itself is an adaptation. The body is always listening to your habits, always adapting, always responding. Most people think of posture as being a failure in their system. No, it's something you've trained your body to do. The good news is you can train it the other direction. The lie of posture is not that posture matters. Posture absolutely matters. The lie is believing posture simply collapses because time passes. Because posture is not just age. It's not age at all. It's adaptation. It's repetition. It's confidence. It's movement. It's mindset. And helping people rebuild the strength, movement, and confidence to carry themselves differently. You guessed it. It's just one more way we help you reach your level of wellness. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as always, I hope to see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast with Garrett Williamson. Subscribe now and be a part of the show by calling 251-278-EDGE or message us on Facebook and Instagram at Personal Edge Fitness or at Team PE on Twitter, and visit us at personaledgefitness.com.
Did you know only 22% of 8th graders are proficient in civics? It's a statistic that affects all our futures. But Alabama's Liberty Learning Foundation is changing the headlines. We partner with schools to go beyond the textbook, teaching civics, character, and financial literacy in a way that empowers students to make a real impact in their own communities. Help Liberty Learning Foundation build the leaders Alabama needs. Join the movement today at libertylearning.org.